You work 40 hours a week to have money at the end of the month. But you don't have time to use that money in a way that makes sense. So, what's the money for? We confuse wealth with money, and that's a serious problem. Since childhood, you've heard that you need to study to get a good job. A good job is one that pays well. And paying well means having money to buy things. Look at the logic: study, then job, then salary, then consumption. In this sequence, where are you? Your tastes, your ideas, your time, and your peace? They're not there. Because in this version of life, you're not the goal. You're just an engine. And then you grow up. You start working. And you realize you're tired. That the weekend doesn't rest you. That vacation is too short. That you live waiting for the next day off. You have money to eat out, but no energy. You have money to travel, but only once a year. You have money to buy books, but you don't read. Because you're exhausted. And still, when someone talks about wealth, you think of more money. As if the problem were the amount. It's not. Let's be direct. If you weren't born rich, you were trained to be productive. Not to be free. Productivity is good for the system. Freedom is good for you. And the two don't always go together. Think about it. What's the difference between a person who earns $5,000 a month working 10 hours a day and a person who earns $5,000 working 4 hours a day? The income is the same, but the life is completely different. The first person has money. The second has time. And time is what you use to build a life that makes sense. Real wealth isn't how much you earn. It's how much you control. Control your time. Control your choices. Control your energy. You can have a high salary and live trapped. You can have an average salary and be free. It depends on what you did with the variables of your life. And here's the point nobody talks about. Wealth is also being able to develop as a human being. Being able to read. Being able to think. Being able to talk without rushing. Being able to fail and start over. Being able to choose work that makes sense, even if it pays less. Being able to say no. These things don't show up in your bank account, but they build a life worth living. When you were a child, you felt life. You paid attention to small things. You were amazed. You created. You had time to look at the sky. Then you became an adult and started living on autopilot. Wake up, work, eat and sleep. Saturday to do laundry. Sunday to prepare for Monday. Wealth is recovering the ability to feel life, to be present, to have mental space to think about what you really want. And that doesn't happen with more money. It happens with less pressure. So what do you do with this? First, stop thinking the problem is just the salary. If you're stuck in a job you hate, waiting to save money to be free later, you're betting on the future. And the future doesn't exist. Only now exists. Second, understand that financial independence isn't having millions. It's having enough not to depend on a boss you hate, a job that destroys you, and a routine that makes no sense. It's having the freedom to choose, even if the choice is to work less and earn less. And third, wealth is about building a life where you recognize yourself, where you have time to think, to talk, to create, to simply exist without guilt. Without feeling like you're always owing something. Is this difficult? Yes, because the entire system was built so you won't stop. So you keep producing, consuming, and running. But the question is, will you keep running? Or will you stop to look where you're going? Wealth isn't what you have. It's what you don't have to give up to live. And if you made it this far, maybe you already know that something needs to change. Soon, we'll talk about the one thing that really separates those who stay trapped from those who break free.